Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/TrueOffMyChest, where OP went through something very traumatic. Let's begin. My daughter's mother just left her at my place. Posted by Reddit user Wonderful Sky.
I'm very angry, so this is going to be a bit of a rant. My daughter's mom and I were young and only dating when she got pregnant with our daughter. We broke up and decided to co-parent. I would spend weekends and holidays with my daughter, which was honestly upsetting. I wish I got to spend more time with her growing up. My daughter, who is now 13, started staying with me more after her mom married her now husband a few months ago. My daughter would always tell me her stepdad doesn't like her that much. I would try and ask questions about what she meant by that. She would say he wouldn't hurt her or anything, he just doesn't like her. She would tell me she didn't want to talk about it, so I wouldn't push. Well, I was away on a business trip and didn't get home until 1 a.m., only to find my daughter sitting on the porch with about 4 packed bags. I was so confused and angry seeing my 13-year-old daughter sitting out there in the middle of the night. Turns out my ex found out she was pregnant, and her husband insisted they don't need my daughter around anymore because they have their own family. That he never wanted a kid in his home who wasn't related to him anyway, so it's a perfect time to start fresh with their own family instead of the ex sticking up for our daughter. She agreed and made daughter pack and dropped her off at my place. Ex didn't tell me and my daughter's phone was dead, so my poor baby was sitting outside alone for 10 hours. I am so mad my ex would do this, and I feel so bad for my daughter. She's absolutely heartbroken. And now our OP's short update. Hey everyone, a kind of small but also big update from my post yesterday. My ex and her husband got arrested. Each got a charge of child abandonment and child neglect. We got lucky and a nearby neighbor's camera footage caught them dropping off my daughter and quickly driving off, my daughter clearly heartbroken. We also got neighbor camera footage of my daughter sitting outside by herself. I am currently in touch with an attorney who is hopefully going to help me and my daughter get justice for everything that happened. For people wondering how my daughter is doing, mentally and emotionally not well, which is to be expected, I have been trying to reassure her she is safe and didn't do anything wrong, as well as giving her lots of hugs and reassuring her that I love her. I got in touch with her school, and they were able to point me in the best direction for a therapist, and she'll start therapy later next week.
OP, that evil bitch of an ex of yours didn't even make sure that your daughter got inside your house. Your ex needs to be responsible for all of the therapy bills. Make sure to protect your daughter moving forward because your ex is going to come back begging after the baby is born so she can get a free babysitter. Fight for full custody and sue her for child support, man. She needs to go to jail for this. Good luck to you and your daughter. And now for today's second story. I was drugged and left in the living room of an older guy's house while he and my now ex did the deed upstairs. Posted by Reddit user Low Significance.
This happened some time ago, roughly 10 years. I have a hard time letting it go. I, 17 at the time, was dating someone I'll call Belle, 18 at the time for years since secondary school, but after school I never saw her until college. We then started to see each other and rekindle the old flame, which I was very happy about. We talked crap about stuff and had a laugh about many things, but that would all go downhill as I'd always get caught in the middle of drama. It even got abusive at one point as she'd sometime push me around. We'd try to make things work here and there, but then we started talking to a guy we'll call Chuck, who was an older guy. It was not uncommon for older guys to hang around the pubs we go to. So I thought little of it, but as this went on, Belle and I started talking to Chuck more and more often. Now he would give me advice on most things, but boy oh boy, did I now know Chuck was no saint as well. I was staying with Belle as I gave up my weekends to go and see her, but we were watching a school event with Chuck's son, which I thought nothing of. But I noticed Chuck was talking to Belle during the event, which again I thought nothing of. After the event, we stopped at a shop for Chuck to take money out of Cash Point and then went back to his place. We all had a drink, but then I started feeling dizzy and was then unconscious. When I came to, I heard noises from upstairs, the sound of a bed thumping. I was still dizzy and was in so much shock at the time that I didn't know what to do. I didn't even move, although my brain was telling me to just run. To this day I don't even know why I didn't. For the rest of the day, I couldn't think straight and my mind was as blank as paper. I was lucky nothing worse happened. This wouldn't be the first time Belle would cheat on me for favors, and it'd always end with me getting hurt. Sure enough, I managed to get out of the relationship after so many tries of finding a way but she'd always manipulate me and convince me to stay with her. But eventually I managed to run, and I tried not to look back. I talked with a few of my friends about this, and they all say that the event was quite messed up. One even said that it was traumatic at the betrayal. I know it's all in the past, but I can't help but sometimes feel stupid for letting myself get manipulated and continuously cheated on. But now I'm glad I'm finally out. I did run into her one day recently as I was shopping, but I just kept walking. She did ended up stalking me but backed off. I just didn't want to go through that pain again, but I still feel stupid for letting myself go through all that.
OP, you need to see a therapist as soon as possible, and your ex should be in jail for the things that she has done to you. If we flipped the genders, the situation would be completely different. You wouldn't see the light of day again outside, only in a prison cell for the rest of your life. And now for today's final story. My American boyfriend's friend made a sexual comment at me. Am I being too sensitive, or is this something that I need to run away from? Posted by Reddit user Gingang Guli.
TLDR, my boyfriend's friend made some sexual comments at me yesterday, and it was only once I got angry and upset that boyfriend told his friend to stop. Part of a wider feeling of not being respected. But am I being too sensitive? Is this a normal thing in American relationships? My American boyfriend and I have known each other since 2016, when we were both 21. We had a Tinder hookup all those years ago, but we reconnected earlier this year, and now we've been in a long-distance relationship since. I thought we had both grown up in this time. He has a successful career in banking and seemed like he was generally doing well. The only issue before I jumped into this with him was the fact that he had never had an actual girlfriend before me. There's been some issues recently where I've had to come to terms with the fact he hasn't always respected me. He admitted he lied about his sexual history so I would have unprotected sex with him. He admitted that an intimate video that we took all those years ago, which he promised he would never show anyone, that he actually showed 2 of his college buddies. But yesterday he asked me to FaceTime him while he was with his high school buddy. He was celebrating having just sat a professional exam. The 5-hour time difference between us meant it was 2 a.m. for me. He called and it was like he had immediately regressed to that frat boy I made years ago. His friend started asking me if I like big cocks. Initially I batted the question away by saying yes, I actually have one. But then the friend stood up, mentioned how tall he was, and then kept asking me again about my sexual preference. All this time, boyfriend was just giggling away like a drunk frat boy. He didn't say anything to the friend to stop, or mention it was inappropriate. It was only once I said, "Well done, you've now got us into a fight," that boyfriend finally stopped laughing and told his friend to stop. He said he would call tomorrow. This isn't the first time his friend has made a sexual comment towards me, and he hasn't said anything. I feel like I'm not respected, but perhaps I'm being too sensitive. Are jokes like this normal for Americans towards their friends' girlfriends? Could this be because he has never had a girlfriend before and he doesn't know? I don't feel respected. Is this salvageable?
My God, OP, how many red flags do you need waving at you before you dump this loser? Get out of this relationship right now. Also, try to see if you could sue him for showing your private videos to his friends. Most likely he showed all of them and might even shared some on the internet. Good luck, man. Contact a lawyer as soon as possible. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.